Welcome to Alpha Bites, where we serve up bite-sized insights to help you grow your business and your bank account. Our host, Alex Zinni, CEO of Alpha Key Digital, dives into the latest marketing trends, proven strategies, and actionable tips to scale your online presence. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, Alpha Bites delivers the keys to unlocking your success. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Zinni, your host of Alpha Bites, where I sit down with business leaders and entrepreneurs to discover what makes them tick and to learn from their success. Our sponsor today is Alpha Key Digital, which is located in the vibrant heart of Northeast Ohio. Alpha Key Digital delivers revenue-generating digital marketing solutions tailored to small and large business. From cutting-edge SEO and social media strategies to high-performing websites and pay-per-click campaigns, our expert team is committed to driving measurable results that elevate your brand. Whether you're a local business striving to dominate your market or a national brand seeking a competitive edge, our comprehensive suite of services ensures success in today's crowded digital landscape. To unlock your business's full potential, please visit our website at alphakeydigital.com/contact us to book an introductory call. So before introducing today's guest, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Jeremy Wise of Rise 25. He's an incredible resource on all things podcasting, and it is because of his guidance and mentorship that we are here today. So go check out his website at rise25.com to learn about how you can start your own podcast. All right, so for today's guests, we have Bill Streb Jr. and Ryan Streb. So Bill Streb Jr. is the second generation owner, and he's here with his son, Ryan, like I mentioned, who is going to be the third generation owner of Streb Electric, which is soon to be a 50-year-old company. Bill Streb Sr. started the business out of his home in 1975 after leaving the corporate world. It was not a planned business, but here we are today. So Bill and Ryan, it's great to see you guys.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys do at Streb Electric.
Well, we're one of the area's premier residential service and repair specialists. We take care of everything in your home, from the smallest changing of an outlet all the way to rewiring your house if you've got old wiring or outdated wiring in the home. That's
Beautiful.
kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, and you guys do great work too. I mean, I'm going to read a quick review here, and I just want to note too that you guys have 738 reviews on Google with a 4.9 star rating. And this one just came in a couple days ago, and I wanted to read it because it's really, as you guys are super humble, but I do want to brag about your services. And here's somebody from Google a week ago saying, "This was my first time using Streb Electric. They came out when they said they would and fixed my issue promptly. Danny was very knowledgeable and explained everything he was doing, and I'm very satisfied and would definitely recommend them to others, as well as using them again in the future for my electrical needs." And there's so many people online bragging about reviews. How do you guys get that many awesome reviews?
Really what it is word of mouth, of finding new customers, and while our technicians are on the job, performing whatever work they're there to do, whether it be something that we're called out for an issue or it's something we've already scheduled in place to finish some work that we've quoted out. Usually at the end of each job, we ask the customer if we've performed a 5-star service, and ask that if they felt like we've performed a 5-star service, leave us a review. I always encourage the people or our technicians that are in the home to say, hey, put my name in the review too, because then what that could lead to is new customers that have never used us say, hey, so-and-so had really great reviews. I want so-and-so. Can you send me that specific technician? And then we can send them that specific technician just based off of reviews with their name in it. And it's always a good thing, especially at the end of the job, to just ask for a review, because reviews lead to more business. So
Absolutely.
Having that many reviews on Google, as well as other platforms across social media and everything else, website and whatnot, Better Business Bureau, just those reviews, there's different ways to see them, and people like taking leads off those reviews. So
Yeah, I want to commend you guys for that, because that social proof that you get from those reviews is invaluable. And a lot of businesses, they struggle with getting consistent reviews, and that's obviously not a problem for you guys. So I want to go back to the beginning of Streb Electric. And Bill, you're the junior, so I want to hear about your father who left the corporate world. What was he doing? How did he start Streb Electric? What was the motivation there?
Well, the motivation, he was a head meat buyer for local grocery store back in the day, and that company started to bring in new management that really they weren't managers, they were family members, and were trying to tell those that had been working for the company how to do their jobs. My dad had been in the meat business, grocery business for years. He knew his job inside and out, and he felt the pressure. And just at that time, he was young. My brother and I were both little guys, and he didn't want to, have to put up with that pressure anymore. So he told my mom, "Hey, I'm getting out of this." I think he almost had a heart attack too, from what I remember when I was, back then. But yeah, he had his license, and he had gotten it back in Youngstown when we used to live there, and he decided to fall back on that. And he got a job working for a management company as their electrician. And while he was doing that, he was also starting to do little side jobs here and there. And those side jobs started to build up because people it started off with friends, and then friends told their friends, and then those friends told other friends, and he just started building this customer base to where it got to the point where he was actually taking days off of his regular job to go do these side jobs, to get these things done. Because again, he was very involved with my brother and I, in sports and stuff. So he didn't have the time at night or weekends to, go out and do jobs. He wanted to spend the time with his kids and his family. So my mom said, "Well, just quit and go on your own." So he did. Again, like I said, it was nothing planned. It just happened.
Mhm.
And yeah, he just ran the business as well as he could, from there. And then I joined him in 1989 after I went to college, got a degree, went to work in my chosen field, and I would work with him on the side when I could,
Mhm.
when he needed help. And all of a sudden, I fell in love with that business. I didn't like the corporate world and the times that I had to work. And I just really enjoyed going into a homeowner's uh, house and just getting to know them, getting to, see the technical part of the electrical work, um, and how satisfied a customer was when at the end of the day you flipped a switch and all their lights came on, or the new lighting came on, or the panel was brand new, things like that. And I didn't get to see that when you're working in the corporate world,
Mhm.
and it gave me a good feeling to see that. And when he was ready to hire somebody full time, I wanted that to be me.
Wow. See, and that accidental business owner, that's what I found with, a lot of successful entrepreneurs and business owners. It's very similar to your father's story, which is, they're doing something on the side, the quality speaks for itself, it starts to grow, and then your mother backed him up and gave him that extra support to start his own thing. And then here we are almost 50 years later. So
Right.
when will the 50th anniversary be of Streb Electric opening its doors?
Well, we're gonna, I don't have a precise date as
Mhm.
far as when in 1975 he opened it. So we're
Mhm.
just gonna start at the beginning of the year. It's gonna be a 50th anniversary year. Celebrating all, that much time in business together. And yeah, to me, it's a big milestone.
Yeah,
Especially now that we have the third generation in line. That's huge.
absolutely. And so Ryan, so with Bill, we see that he was working part time, and then he wanted to jump out of the corporate world and dive to the family business. When was it that you made your decision, and where were you coming from before you came as a third generation?
Yeah. So when I was a teenager in high school, in the summers and stuff like that, 2006, I want to say. So when I started doing little things with him in the summer, while we were off school, and he needed to hand put in outlets or tracing a panel or whatever it happened to be. So I would go give him a hand. My first actual job out of high school, well, actually my first job ever, was security guard for a company, actually, that was out of the same building that we're in now. It's hilarious, just the opposite corner. But they, over 3 years, I was with them for 3 years, and over 3 years, I only got about a 75-cent raise, I think. And at that time, minimum wage was $7.50, I think, or $7 or whatever it was. And so I was trying to move out of my parents' house and find an apartment and live on my own. And it's hard to do that on, just a hair above minimum wage. So my dad was looking at the time. It was after I want to say 2010 that he was starting to finally look to build kind of his employee base. And we had a few people working for us at the time, but he had offered, more money to come work for him. And of course I took it because I needed to pay. I wanted to move out. I wanted to pay for an apartment. So I made a decision in I think it was 2010, end of 2010, beginning of 2011, to move over to Streb Electric. And I worked for the company here until about 2013. I actually went off and joined the Army. I was at the point I still didn't really want to be an electrician. I thought there was something more that I could do. So I got it. To me, it had gotten stagnant, and I needed a change, and that change was the Army. So I went and did that for 4 years active. When I got out of active, joined the Guard, got back, I needed something to fall back into, which happened to be the company. It only took me a couple weeks riding around with people in 2017 to get right back where I was, back out in the truck by myself, and everything just came back to me after being gone for 4 years. But 2017 up until 2018, end of 2018 and all of 2019, I was in Afghanistan. And then when I got back, came right back to it again, and made the decision at the end of 2020 to move into the office because my dad was kind of starting to get a little overwhelmed with how many people we now had in the field, trying to manage that many people as well as run the business and everything like that. It was kind of hard to do. And so we needed a manager, and I moved into the office, became a manager at that point. Little about a month or two transition to get in, but ever since then, now I've been in the office and helping out and managing the field while he actually runs the company. So now I'm in the process of training my replacement, who is now in the office as well. And I'll be moving into his position here at the end of this month, beginning of next month, to run the company. So
beautiful. Yes, and thank you for your service too. Really appreciate it. All of anybody who's served is very honorable and noble thing to do. And I do remember meeting with your father in your old office in Eastlake there, I think in 2019 before you were coming home, and just how excited he was to have you coming back. What is something that you've learned in the military, Ryan, like a principle or just, something that translates over to what you're doing at Streb? Is there anything that jumps out to you?
That's actually really, really good question there, because there's a lot of things. Being out in a civilian corporation, organization, it's hard to incorporate military doctrine, really. Some of the things that I did bring over were, hand receipts for gear and whatnot for trucks. Some paperwork when it comes to, in-house paperwork. Outside of that, really kind of a command structure of, who's your supervisor, supervisor, who to tell first before it works its way all the way up. Thankfully, we actually hired on some people who are former military as well, so they kind of already understand. We have a couple of veterans here, so they already understand kind of how that rank structure works and steps to get to that point. So it's kind of helped out a little bit going that route and hiring veterans. But outside of that, it's really, really hard to translate, military structure and doctrine into a corporate civilian type situation unless you're in a, whether it be paramilitary or law enforcement or something that operates along those same types of lines.
Mm-hmm. Well, you touched on a lot of points there too. I mean, just chain of command, for instance, in a business that's trying to scale, and as it becomes bigger and bigger and more complex, that chain of command and that understanding of who's responsible for what is totally an invaluable skill, and one that I think a lot of people, myself included, struggle with a growing business.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really cool. And for the listeners out there, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, having to struggle with that for sure. But Bill, I want to go back to you and take us back a little bit in time. So I know with Streb Electric that the business has grown quite a bit over the last 10 years or so. And for you, being in a mastermind or being in a group of peers has been really beneficial to you. And I think it's Certain Path. Is that the group that you're a part of
Yes.
electricians? Okay. So tell me a little bit about how joining that kind of mastermind group helped you grow your business.
Well, it was back in during the recession
Mhm.
that everything came to a standstill. People weren't calling to schedule work. Everything people didn't have the money, and I didn't know what to do. I went to my dad, and he really never had to deal with that. And so it was kind of a rough time. And then we received a postcard from Certain Path saying, "Hey, we can help you grow your business. We can help you price right. We can, help you know your numbers." And so my wife and I took a leap of faith by joining the organization. And what they are is they're all independent business owners, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and roofing. And what they do is they coach us and they teach us the business systems, the numbers we need to watch on a daily basis to know if we need more work, if we're making money, if we're losing money, if we need to hire. They teach us how to hire right, how to fire correctly. If you got that person, you're not sure, are they working, are they not working, working out right. They kind of give you the pointers to look for, to know when to get rid of people, to make sure that you have a successful business. And you have coaches and you have other business owners that are going through issues that you may have gone through already, or they're upcoming. You're gonna see them eventually. So it's really great to be able to bounce ideas, share your numbers with the business owners, to where if they see there's a really funky spot going on with your numbers, they can go, "Hey, okay, let's dig in a little bit deeper and see where we can help you out." And that's one of the nice things, is that we're all, the members of Certain Path are all there to help each other.
Mm.
We all want everybody in the organization to be successful, and to be very successful entrepreneurs. And just digging into that and listening to the successful businesses that I was meeting along the way, and listening to what they were doing, listening to my coaches going through the training that they offer, things like that. It gave me the confidence to start making and taking the steps necessary to grow my business. And when you're small, and you have to add somebody into payroll, it's tough, because you're going, okay, where's that money going to come from? Because obviously I want to be paid. And now you're going to be paying somebody else. And it was kind of tough, because when that first full-time employee that I hired, that really helped us start to grow, was an office manager, someone to be taking care of the phones every day, answering the phones, giving that live, personal experience to the customer. Because prior to that, I was trying to do the work, answer the phones, schedule work, all that kind of stuff, and it was getting really tough. But once I brought on a live person to answer phones and take care of that part of the business, it gave me a chance to actually concentrate on what I was doing in the field. And then from there, start thinking about adding additional technicians, people like that. And again, going through the training and finding out who should I be looking for? What are the traits I need to find in the right person to work for me? And just making those little steps, adding a person here, adding a person there. That's how we started to grow. And so when I first joined Certain Path, there was myself, and that was it. And here we are today at 18 employees, and we own a building and 7 trucks on the road. So just by following their guidance and just digging in and wanting to grow my business, that's how it happened.
Yeah. Well, is there kind of like one aha moment or something that you can look back on, over the last, since you joined in 2008? What was something that really clicked for you? Do you have a memory of anything that was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense?
Probably because I had to get out. I think getting out of my own way, because I was putting up blockers that was stopping me from growing. Because I was worrying about certain things like, well, what if this and what if that? And as soon as I kind of dropped that wall, and I realized that I could do this. This is something that I can really do. And adding that first person on, Heidi, when we hired her, she gave us that, or gave me that sense that, okay, I can work on something different. Well, it's happening over here. There's 2 different things happening now. And I don't know, just realizing that I was my own problem sometimes. I think there are I've talked to a lot of owners since then that we are our own problem sometimes. We worry too much. We think about things too much instead of just maybe taking that leap of faith again and again and again. And then it starts to work out, because I would super analyze things, like, oh, what if this doesn't work? Or what if that doesn't work? And sometimes that's not the best thing to be thinking about. You got to be thinking about, okay, I got to move forward and let's just do it.
Well, yeah, entrepreneurs, we have the ability to overthink, and overplan, and then simultaneously underplan and overdo. So,
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur it's an interesting path, but what you touched upon there, how did you get out of your own way? Because it's a very personal thing,
Right.
what did you do to learn to get out of your own way?
I think what showed me that I could do it was once I hired that next person, and then that worked out. And then I said, okay, I need to hire another person. So let me go and do that. And then part of our group is they have a partner network to where they help you out with product and things like that. And I found a company where I can get trucks easier than from around locally. All right. And so then I knew, okay, now I can put these two people in a truck in separate trucks. And if I need another truck, this company's out here to help me out. And it just having the confidence and knowing that I wasn't alone. There are others out there that can help me. That was huge, and allowing others to help, because you have to sometimes you got to let people in. And again, it just slowly started and it just started to snowball.
Yeah, you trusted the process and you
Right.
did the things that needed to be done. So Ryan, I have a question. How do you foster a teamwork environment, with the people that you work with? How do you foster a positive teamwork environment?
In what aspect? Just everybody working together to, help out themselves and the company, or?
Yeah, just like when you have, different personalities and, as it's more people are coming by, what do you guys do to be good employers?
Really the first step is finding out, essentially before you even the hire process, if, or during the hire process, if that, employee is going to accept your vision, accept your goal for the company, and is willing to help reach that goal and achieve that vision. So it starts with that, really. And then once you've determined that employee is going to help you out, and is there to, allow you to achieve your goals, then it's figuring out their goals, right? What do you want out of this employment? What do you want out of this company? And then it's setting them up to succeed for themselves, right? Most everybody these days is out to make money to, provide for their families, for themselves, their hobbies, whatever it happens to be. So the only real way to do that is to allow you to make the money that you want, really, and provide you with the hours and overtime opportunities, and pay you what you believe you should be paid compared to what we believe you should be paid to reach that goal, really. And then everybody kind of putting in the effort to realize that it's not just about themselves. It's not just about the company. It's a concept of one of the things that they teach us with Certain Path is the win-win-win, where if the customer wins, then the company's going to win and you're going to win in the long run. So it's really customer focused first, and making sure that everybody here understands that and is working towards that same common goal. Now, what we do is we actually have a board out in their break room that has the numbers on it for themselves, and it kind of creates a nice little team competition between, a lot of the guys out there where, well, I'm gonna be, top for this month, or I can't let him have, be better than me or whatever it happens to be. So they do a little competitions between themselves, and that promotes that teamwork going through. And then if people need assistance on jobs, there's always somebody that says, hey, I can go help, or I can drop you off this material, whatever it happens to be. They're pretty good with helping each other out there. Now, it took some time getting to that point, of course. Different ways to build teamwork and build their relationships with each other. I mean, you're never going to get everybody to agree with everybody. So it's just how it is. But, in a professional environment, as long as you can help the people around you, you're going to be helped as well. So it's worked out really well for us so far. So
Yeah. I love that you touched upon the idea of vision. I think vision is one of those things that, without it, it's like a rudderless ship. And bringing employees in, I think that's a common mistake a lot of people make, especially, younger entrepreneurs or people who are early in their journey, is not having a vision. When you bring employees into that, they're not going to have a vision either, right? And I really liked about what you said about the win-win-win. If the customer wins and you guys win, that's a recipe for a successful business and successful endeavor. So Ryan, I'm going to ask another question here, which is, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you face right now in terms of hiring?
Oh, well, it's kind of a couple of different things, right? Because the way that our company operates, compared to some of the other companies in the area, obviously with price book, straightforward pricing, everything like that, it's going to be different. So it's going to be, no matter what, it's going to be training, a lot of training. So trying to find somebody either that has come from a system very similar, or most everybody else is going to be brand new to it. So it's going to be interesting. Now, what's kind of helping us out right now is we are set technician wise. I mean, we're always looking, always open for applicants. That's fine. If you would like to send in an application, or not application, but a resume, just for us to take a look at, you want to be part of the team, that's great. I will accept any resume from anybody at any time. But we're going to be looking for new apprentices coming up here soon, and we actually kind of partner with the IEC. They run an apprenticeship program in the local area here, and picking students out of the IEC to become apprentices has kind of been our go-to. But I am not above and beyond taking anybody off the street coming out of high school or college or whatever it happens to be, to these trade schools and whatnot, because I can teach somebody electrical. The thing that is really, really hard is finding people that have the communication skills, or have done some sort of customer service, because you can hire somebody and teach them to do electrical all day, but finding somebody that can also talk to a customer without all the ums and all the, what it means, or and, being able to get their point across without having to use filler words, or, choking up in front of them. So, that's always a big hurdle, is finding people that can deal with, customers, just any sort of conversations with customers. And, it was really hard years ago when we were hiring for apprentices to find people that, because what we like to do is build from within, right? We don't like to hire out for electricians if we don't have to. We'd like to build the apprentices from within because they already know our system at that point. They understand how we function, and hiring somebody that doesn't understand that is a lot more difficult. But when we were hiring apprentices before, we just need an apprentice. Let's hire somebody that, I could teach electrical. It's easy. And then when we got to the point of, hey, you've been here for a couple of years, we want to move you to a technician. They couldn't talk to the customer. They couldn't, they couldn't use the book. They couldn't use just simple communication skills to get to that point. So they were almost like a forever apprentice, or would be more beneficial as a just an installer, which unfortunately we don't have. We don't have an install and a sales crew. It's just everybody goes out and they talk to the customer, they present estimates, and then do the work. So unfortunately letting those people go that aren't going to be able to do everything. It's hard, but that's why we do our process now for the interviews of making sure that, hey, what's your background? Can you talk to a customer? Pretend I'm a customer. Here's something, try to pitch it to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So doing a nice little process of kind of vetting, new hires and whatnot to make sure that they can, be essentially a customer focused employee, really. So that's what our biggest hurdle of when it comes to hiring. Outside of that, that's everything else is pretty easy. But when it comes down to it, especially since we're customer service representatives, really, we're going to be inside of a customer's home, their safe space, their castle, right? We need to be as personable as possible. So that's the big one.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And so Bill, just kind of as to piggyback off what Ryan was saying, how do you know when how quickly do you know when someone's not a good fit? Is it quick? Does it take some time? Have you ever been surprised by someone, or how quickly before you know whether someone's a good fit or not?
Well, you can usually tell on how they present themselves to you, because they have to sell themselves to you during the interview process. And a lot of what we've started to do is actually have a working interview, to where if we see somebody we think is going to work on our team, we ask if they would like to come in. We'll pay them for the day, and we actually send them out with one of our technicians and let them kind of work beside them, and our technician will also let us know how things go out in the field, so that again, a lot of people, and I've had it in the past, where they tell you they can do it, they can do this and do that. They get out, and I've hired them. They go out there and they can't. So I've made that mistake. So by putting them in a work situation before you even decide to hire them and see how they handle themselves, and I mean, you could tell right away if you're dealing with a customer, you want that person to also, have some sort of interaction with a customer, at least saying hi and being cordial with them. And if they're standoffish, things like that, then you have another discussion with them about that part of the job. So it takes a little bit. I mean, but when you're hiring, you're obviously hiring. You want somebody in quick enough, so that you can get them out there and get them going. But we do onboarding before we even send them in the field. After we hire them, we do onboarding, where we sit with them and we kind of go over our whole system from top to bottom, and what is going to be expected of them. And if they understand that, we have a little test we can give them to see what kind of knowledge they have prior to sending them out anywhere. It's just all these little things that add up to, is this person going to be the person that's going to work out? And sometimes you might swing and miss. Shame on you, or shame on us. But I mean, for the most part, we've done pretty well lately, and we've had some people actually leave us to go somewhere else that it kind of hurt, because we could tell that was a person that was going to work well in our company.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't win them all. You know, good
Right.
batting percentage is 300, you know, striking out 7 out of 10 times is
Yeah.
considered Hall of Fame numbers, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of those things where it's difficult, but it's necessary. But it sounds like you guys have a great process, and have it really dialed in. So I have one last question I'm going to ask each one of you individually. But before I ask it, I just want to point everybody out to your website, which is www.strebelectric.com. Visit Streb Electric's website, see the work for yourself, and give them a call. But so the last question, I'm going to start with Ryan. What was the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten? It could be personal, could be professional, but just what is the best piece of advice you've been given?
Hmm, It's a good question. um, Best piece of advice that I've probably been given, it was actually in the military, was that, you know, you're going to get different people, especially when you're in a leadership role. You're going to have so many different personalities, so many different types of people that are going to either be working underneath you or you're going to be working with. And I was told essentially that don't try to change them to fit in your, you know, what you want to do. Work around it to where you change how you either lead or essentially how you treat them to work with how their personality is. So, you know, if somebody works better, it all kind of, you know, like the visual, kinesthetic, audio, things like that, working how you do things to, you know, help them learn a little bit easier or better, or if their personality type is you know, more of a dominant type personality, you know, changing your personality to kind of match that, compared to expecting them to change to meet you.
Mm,
And that has helped me when it comes to other employees, when it comes to customers, because there are so many different types of people out there, and dealing with, especially in a service industry like this, dealing with so many different types of customers with different personalities, just essentially being able to change your own, you know, demeanor, tone, how, you know, quickly you go to a certain, whether you get straight to the price or you go over details, you know, being able to change your own self to match that customer's or that employee's, whatever it is, their personality, it actually creates a better chance of building a rapport with them. So that was always the biggest, you know, biggest thing. It also translated. I heard the same thing when we, you know, I think it was my first, it was my first expo or one of the trainings I was sent to, for a certain path. They reiterated the same type of things, like, oh, I've heard that before. Like, that was something somebody told me in the military. It's like, you got to deal with, you're gonna have people in different units that you're gonna have to deal with, and you know, they don't know you, you don't know them, so might as well. But with a certain path, there's like, yeah, you're gonna meet so many different people that aren't the same as you. You know, here's what you are. Not everybody's that way. So change what you got to do to, you know, kind of work around them. So I would say that would probably be the best piece of advice that I've ever gotten.
awesome. Awesome. And Bill, same question to you. What's the best piece of advice someone has given you?
I'd probably have to say, you know, once I got into this business, probably my dad, just treat everybody the way you want to be treated. You know, you are going to meet some customers that are a little abrasive, and you just have to, like, kind of calm down, don't let it get to you, and just be very kind to them. You know, because again, you know, somebody could be having a bad day, and even if you're having a bad day, you better snap out of it, because you're going to be going in front of somebody that you don't know them. And you know, a customer will know within, they say, what's it, 3 to 5 seconds, if they want to hire you or not. So you have to be on your game all the time, and just be super kind, you know, empathetic. um yeah, because that's the business that we're in.
Hmm. Beautiful. Yeah, the world needs more kindness, and that's timeless piece of advice that your father gave you there, Bill. It's been wonderful chatting with you guys again. It's Bill and Ryan Streb of Streb Electric. Visit their website at www.strebelectric.com or call their phone number 440-953-5819 Thank you guys. It's been great chatting with you, and I will see everyone on the next episode.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Alpha Bites. If you found today's insights valuable, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with your network. Let's keep the conversation going. Connect with us on social media or visit us at alphakeydigital.com/alphabites. Remember, the keys to your digital success are just a bite away. See you next time.